In Umuagu village, people say hunger is a test from God. But that year, hunger was not a test. It was punishment. Not the loud kind, not the kind that comes with thunder, the quiet kind. The kind that sits in your stomach and refuses to leave. The soil cracked like broken pottery left too long beneath a merciless sun. Long lines split across the farmland like wounds that would not close. When you stepped on it, it did not soften, it resisted. Palm trees stood tall but gave nothing. No fruit, no wine. Even their shadows felt thinner. The stream that once laughed through the village now crawled slowly, ashamed of itself. Children stopped playing in the evenings. It takes energy to laugh, and energy had become rare. The elders gathered beneath the great tree 3 times that season. Kola nut was broken. Palm wine was poured. White chalk marked foreheads. Prayers were spoken carefully, respectfully. But the earth did not answer. It felt like the land was listening and choosing silence. In a small hut at the edge of Umuagu lived Nkem, widow of Obiora. Since Obiora's sudden death during the last harvest, whispers had replaced sympathy. They say he harvested too early. They say he forgot the offering. They say he took from the land without permission. But whispers do not fill pots, and whispers do not quiet a child crying from hunger. That night, when her youngest son's crying became too weak to continue, Nkem stood and walked toward the forbidden grove of Allah. No kola nut, no libation, no permission. The boundary stone glowed pale under the moon. The forest changed as she stepped past it. The insects fell silent. The air thickened. Each step felt noticed. At the center stood the ancient Udala tree, its roots rising like coiled serpents. And there, a calabash, waiting. When she knelt, the soil beneath her palms pulsed. A voice rose from the ground itself. Your husband owed the land. If there is debt, she whispered, let me pay it. There are debts paid with blood and debts paid with gratitude. The calabash shifted slightly. Take it, feed your children, but never claim it, never boast of it, and never allow greed to touch what is not yours. The soil cooled. When gratitude dies, something else will eat. That night, steam rose from the calabash in her hut. Rich egusi soup formed slowly. Goat meat surfaced gently through thick red oil. Her children stared. They ate, and for the first time in weeks, they slept peacefully. Before sleeping, Nkem poured the first spoonful onto the earth for the land, and the soil accepted it. Days passed, then weeks. Her children regained strength. Her small farm began to green again. Cassava leaves stretched. Yams pushed upward. It looked like mercy. But mercy does not hide in villages. At the stream, women began whispering. And Ifeanyi, Obiora's younger brother, began watching. He told himself he was protecting family honor, but the truth was simpler. He did not understand why a widow prospered while others starved. He saw her bow before the calabash. He saw steam rise, and hunger shifted inside him. Not hunger of the stomach, hunger of greed. Before we continue, if you are watching this right now, pause for a moment and comment what time you are listening. Are you watching at midnight, 2 a.m., Tell me where you are listening from. Now, let's continue. 3 nights later, Ifeanyi entered her hut. The moon was thin, the village silent. He placed the calabash before the fire. "Feed me," he demanded. Nothing. "I am son of this soil," he shouted. The hut responded, not with obedience, but with movement. The fire dimmed. Dogs began howling in the distance. The calabash vibrated. Steam rose, but the smell was wrong. Metallic, heavy, dark liquid formed inside, thick, slow, moving slightly. The soil beneath his feet softened. "Where is your gratitude?" a voice asked. "I am family," he shouted. Blood does not excuse greed. The dark liquid spilled on the ground. The earth responded immediately. His feet sank. He tried to pull away. The soil tightened. The hut felt smaller. The walls seemed to breathe. He screamed. But in Umuagu, when night screams, doors remain closed. By morning, the calabash sat peacefully, filled with rich soup. Ifeanyi was gone. Nobody, only disturbed soil. When Nkem returned, she felt it. The air was heavy. The land felt fed. She knelt slowly. "This is not the feeding I asked for." The soil pulsed gently. Balance was restored. Tears streamed down her face. "I do not want blood tied to my children's survival." Silence. Then, return what was lent. That night, beneath the full moon, she carried the calabash back to the grove. "My children have eaten. Let the death end with me." The calabash grew warm, cracked slowly, split in two, empty forever. Days later, rain fell over Umuagu, steady, setting. The soil drank deeply. Yams grew thick again. Palm wine flowed sweet. And the elders began teaching a new proverb. When Allah gives with one hand, watch the other. Because some gifts are not owned, they are borrowed. And the land always remembers. And sometimes when the rain falls too heavily on Umuagu, the elders say the land is remembering what it has eaten. If you love powerful African folk tales rooted in culture and quiet spiritual truth, like this video, share it with someone who respects the land, and subscribe to Nighttime Tales with Amara, because here our stories breathe at night.